Wedding is, of course, a delicate logistical dance. You have to nail down the date, then the place, then the dress, the politics of where people are seated. Well, now imagine the pressure of planning a royal wedding. That's Kate Middleton's life right now. She was spotted scouting out Westminster Abbey late Wednesday, and we could find out where and when the royal wedding is set to take place. With me now is Hugo Vickers. He's a royal historian and the author of The Private World of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, among other books on the royal family. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Hugo.
It's a pleasure.
As we said, Kate spotted leaving Westminster Abbey. Talk to us about that church and why she and William might pick it as their wedding venue.
Well, it's definitely the most obvious choice. It's very much what you might call the Royal Church in London. It's what's called a royal peculiar, which means it comes under the jurisdiction of the Queen rather than the Archbishop of Canterbury. And if I tell you that virtually every English king since William the Conqueror has been crowned there, kings from Henry III to George II, including Henry VII, have been buried there. The present Queen was married there, the Queen Mother was married there, and of course there was the funeral of Diana, Princess of Wales, Prince William's mother, took place there in 1997. So it has a lot going for it.
Would that be one of the reasons why they might want to do it elsewhere, because of the fact that Princess Diana had her funeral there?
You know, it could go either way, couldn't it? Because I would have thought that, in a way, if you think of a church, it's a place where you go for happy occasions and sad occasions, for important occasions and that sort of thing. I don't think that that would play against Westminster Abbey. I mean, my money, if I was putting money on it, would be Westminster Abbey. I think St. Paul's Cathedral, which is the other main possibility, is really, in a way, too big. Westminster Abbey, although it appears very large, also has a feeling of intimacy, which is rather special.
Right, and they also talk about it being a nice route for a procession from Westminster Abbey to Buckingham Palace, because of course this is going to be a made-for-TV event seen around the world, just as his parents' wedding was back in 1982.
Yes, absolutely. There is an absolutely prescribed processional route. I know exactly which way they would go, and then they would come back to Buckingham Palace, where there's a fantastic balcony, and they can make an appearance, and many crowds and indeed many television watchers can see them on the balcony and wonder whether they're going to kiss each other or not.
Right. 1981, actually, but ma'am, that was a long time ago, and most of us still remember it like yesterday. One of the other issues is the date. They had said it was going to be 2011. A lot of talk about whether it would be spring or late summer. Do we know any more about what needs to be considered when they decide on a date?
Well, there are certain considerations which have to be taken into account. It's not going to be on the 10th of June, which is Prince Philip's 90th birthday. I would suggest it's most likely to be towards the end of July, which is the time when most of the royal weddings take place, because then they have the whole of August for the honeymoon, and I don't think it'll be in August because the palace is open to the public and all the staff are on holiday. It could, of course, be in April or the beginning of May. A lot of it depends on the weather. You know, we have a lovely climate here, but it's very unreliable. It's a little bit more reliable in July, and I think there's a lot to be said for a glorious summer wedding. So I'd probably be proved to be totally wrong, but I would say Westminster Abbey towards the end of July.
Well, you put up a good case for July. You got that month-long honeymoon to go anywhere you want to. That brings us to the next question about just how lavish this is going to be. I mean, this is the wedding of the century for Britain, but then they're dealing with a recession. They don't want to appear to be too grand and opulent when taxpayers are worried about their jobs. So how do they balance that?
Well, I think you see the benefits of a royal wedding, however much they spend on it, will be enormous, because, let's face it, people are going to come flocking into London. It's going to be a huge boost to the nation. Everybody's going to be very excited. It's a great morale boost generally. So I hope that they will do it as well as ever. Carriage processions so that we can see them. We do this thing extremely well in Britain. Having said that, I think there will also be a very strong emphasis on the personal commitment between the young couple getting married.
Right.
And I think that although there will be many protocol demands, many people who have to be invited, I think that that's something which I think will be to the fore on this occasion, because it's clearly a love match. It's not a dynastic alliance. It's not a political thing. They know each other very well, and they've decided, Hugo, like most young couples, to marry.
Yeah, yes. And Hugo, speaking of that, you talked about the royal protocol. It looks like she's not taking up full-time royal duties right away, but she's also not going to continue working in her family business. That's fueling speculation that they're going to get started on a family straight away. What do you think?
Well, it would be a lovely thing if another generation of the royal family arrived during the reign of the present Queen, who celebrates her Diamond Jubilee in 2012. How lovely it would be for people like me who like seeing lots of generations of the royal family, for the Queen to see not only a son but a grandson and also another generation within her reign. So yes, I hope they'll do that.
That's wonderful. Hugo Vickers, author and royal